we all get excited about financial literacy and what they're actually doing about it. If he accomplishes 1% of what I think he can accomplish, it's going to create ripple effects that will literally change the game in how families train their kids and the next generation after generation. Give a warm, Better Wealth welcome to Scott Donnell. How's that for an intro?
Awesome. All right. Unbelievable.
All right.
Love you. All right. Testing. Am I on? Testing. Can you guys hear me all right? All right. All right. Well, hi guys. My name's Scott. I learned a lot today. This is crazy. That's more stats than I've seen since college. But it was powerful stuff, man. So I'm going to talk today about something a little crazy. Who here has kids, grandkids, want to be having kids? We interviewed we searched the globe to find 100 mega wealth families. These are multi-millionaire up to billionaire families that did it right with future generations. That is hard to find, okay? I do come from 4 generations of mega wealth that gave it all away. My dad and my grandpa built Interwest Bank. It was the #1 bank in America, small business bank. Ended up exiting to Wells Fargo for billions of dollars. Gave the whole thing to charity, to widows and orphans. 4 generations in a row. And I couldn't be more thankful. I'm going to explain that today. And there's a crazy link between these 100 families we found and interviewed and said, how did you do it? Shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Anyone ever heard that? 90% of generational wealth is pissed away by the grandkids. Why? That's what I was trying to figure out. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share the lessons learned from these families. And the crazy thing is, they all do the same thing. And the crazier thing is, no one else is. Here's my quick story. I'm probably, I don't know, someone else said that about me, but I'm one of the leading voices in teaching kids money in America. I've got about 6 million families under my belt. Maybe that's good enough. I don't know. First company was Apex Leadership Co. in 2011. My wife was a first grade teacher. She spent her whole paycheck on her kids, making 38 grand a year. And I was like, what are you doing? So I started a company to raise money for her school. It ended up making that school $50,000. It was a fun run. Who's here is given to a fun run? Yeah, at a school. That was me. I started that industry, basically. So we launched, we've raised hundreds of millions of dollars. It exploded nationwide, millions and millions of families, 600 employees, and I loved it. But right off the bat, I was like, why aren't these kids learning about money? Why aren't they learning the practical skills to succeed? Like, how does trigonometry help you with monthly budgeting? How does geometry help you with taxes or life insurance or annuities? Like, can we get to the basics first of how to make it out in the real world, people? So started children's business fairs with a good friend of mine, Jeff Sandifer. He started one in his backyard. I ended up expanding it. Kids come on a Saturday. They make products. They make $300 a profit in 3 hours. It's incredible training. Now there's 1,500 of them all over the world. Biggest one's in Guatemala with 5,000 kids. Super fun. And then thousands of parents started emailing me and saying, this is the #1 thing my kids have ever learned, practically. Forget school for 17 grand a year that the public system spends. This thing made them 300 and they're ready for the world. They're paying their way through college 5 years later. They're literally got their first 6-figure job at age 19. It's just like practical skills, practical skills. And then we started My First Sale to turn it online. It's like Etsy for kids. Okay, now we've got tens of thousands of kids have gone through this program. The guy who's speaking next with Family Brand, Chris Smith, his son is here. Where are you, Tate? He was one of our first kids to go through My First Sale, crushed it. How much money have you guys made on Create or Complain?
Like 12,000.
$12,000. Killer. So, kids learn in 2 ways. I'm the expert, trust me. Fun and real life experience. You guys follow me? It's the only way they learn. And when it comes to money, you can't homework it. That's why everyone rails against the public education system. But teachers who don't know this stuff, how do you expect them to teach it to kids through homework? They can only learn this in the real world and by having fun. Okay? Is everybody following? All right, so that led us to GravyStack. GravyStack, I'll explain in a minute. It's the world's first banking game for kids and families to become completely financially competent with a real bank account and a debit card and 100 games and real life challenges. Like these kids are canceling subscriptions and like coupons and planning the next family trip on a budget, doing real investing games, and then they invest through the account. Like actual training, real life fun. You guys follow what we're doing here? 50 million kids financially competent and ready to succeed. So we launched a book, Value Creation Kid. It's right here. If I had more room in my bag, I'd have brought one for all of you. But you can just grab one on Amazon. It's a bestseller already. Value Creation Kid, the healthy struggles your children need to succeed. It's exploding. We sold 3,100 books yesterday. So it's just going. Like parents like, holy crap, this is the answer. Tell all your friends. And it's the stories of the 100 multi-legacy millionaires. Oh, and then we have Smart Money Parenting. That's our show. All right, massive problem. 76% of 18 to 25-year-olds fail a basic financial literacy test. Less than 1 in 4 22-year-olds is financially independent, despite most of their parents thinking they will be by that age. 2 trillion plus student loan debt and growing. Gen Z is scared to talk about money. It's the biggest fight in the home. We surveyed 1,000 families. This is what we found. Parents, we don't know what we're supposed to teach. Kids, we're terrified to talk about money. My parents fight about it. Sex and money, those are the 2 biggest ones. You're not talking about sex in front of your kids. That's in the bedroom. But you hear money problems all the time. We can't afford this. Do you know how much that costs? Money doesn't grow on trees. Amy, you forgot to pay that bill again, right? Like kids hear this stuff and then they get scared to talk about it. They're like, forget it. I'm just gonna wait till I'm out in the real world. I got food, shelter, clothing. I'm gonna play games and hang out and do sports. All right, so that's the point. Schools aren't teaching it. Banks don't care. Sorry if you're in banking in here, but most of the financial literacy budgets for banks is like PR, okay? But banks make their money when you have deposits. Kids don't have deposits. So banks have kind of left them high and dry. And then parents need our help. Okay, they don't have a roadmap. So this is GravyStack, just to give you kind of an idea. There's all these worlds and maps, and you're trying to defeat the greedy tyrant weasel, mob boss, and his henchmen. This is one of the levels in the game. They play 10 games, wants and needs, money motto games, subscription hunt, emergency expense water balloon fight with a hyena. So they learned 31 emergency expenses that they have to save for. This is the entire home gig system, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Everything we learned from these 100 legacy millionaires and billionaires we put in the app for everybody. Okay? We want the whole world to take this on. Oh yeah, average kid has saved their parents $547 in the first month of using GravyStack. The thing's $7 a month. So talk about return on investment for your kids. This is the money machine. We have 30 patents on this, anything gaming and banking related. We have to show the flow of money. Kids, it's a video, it's literally a game. Like they watch the last 10 transactions they've done on their debit card, goes through their revenue streams into their save, spend, and share jar. Automatically split. Share goes to every nonprofit in North America. Save gets 3 to 4% interest, and they have their wants and needs in their spend jar. Okay? And then this is like investing. You can do that. I'll talk about that a different time. But okay, you want to hear what the 100 families said? You want to go into that? Wow, you're a lively bunch. First lesson. Garrett took it. Good job. They create value. They help their kids create value, not money first. Money is a store of value. That's the point here. You don't want to just get your kids to go after money. Only 5% of kids are like, out of the womb, how do we get money, mom and dad? Those are the entrepreneur kids. Only 5% of kids have the DNA for entrepreneurship. The other 95% of kids don't, and their parents don't want to talk about it because entrepreneurship is another word for losing all your money and going broke. They're scared of it. So we have to get kids to think about creating value. Creating value is what entrepreneurs do every day, but when you talk about it this way, it's the fastest way to getting the promotion. It's the fastest way to getting the job. It's the fastest way to figuring out what the teacher needs. It's the fastest way to make your sister or brother happy, to share with somebody else. Creating value is not just money. There's 3 types of value that we talk about in the book, Value Creation Kit. Material, emotional, and spiritual value. Material value is what you create and produce in the world. Emotional value, probably the rarest of all, is how you think and feel and help others think and feel. And then spiritual value is how you live and love other people. All of those create value. I'm a Christian. Jesus is like the best spiritual value in the world to me. Another way of thinking about spiritual value, we're going to put a man on the moon and return him safely by the end of the 60s. Think about how that united our country. The value that brought to everybody. So if you get a kid to start thinking and looking around, how can I create value in every situation? How can I make that my lens, my core drive? Like, how do we think that way, the motivation? Kids start exploding. So we have this value creation cycle. Healthy struggles, not trauma, healthy struggles. Creates capabilities in the kids, which creates confidence in the kids, which creates value for them and everybody else. If you're a parent in this room, go through healthy struggles. Let them skin their knees. This is in school, in sports, in health, in learning to change a tire, in cooking a meal, in chopping, home gigs, everything in the yard. You've got to let them grow. Fail fast early, learn and grow. And be there. You have to be firm and kind. Firm and kind. That's how you do the value creation cycle. And this is the value creation matrix. It's all about building confidence and capability within your kids. If you're high capability and high confidence, you're one of our favorites. You're a value creation kid. If you're high capability, but you don't have the confidence, you're anxious. You're a self-doubter. You're worried about what other people are going to think. A lot of the mental health issues come from this side. Okay? And the other side, if you're confident but not capable, you're entitled. I deserve this. It's a lot of arrogance is this. Like they deserve, they get special treatment. And if you're neither, you're a lazy victim. You grow up, blame everybody else. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, this one is going to hurt some heads, especially in this room. Okay, kids need heritage, not inheritance. All right? It's more about what you leave in them than what you leave to them. This is a critical piece that almost all 100 of these families live by. They care way more about the legacy of their family, the mission, the vision, the values, what it means to have their last name. Family Brand is amazing for this with Chris Smith, who's talking next. Creating that family structure of how we show up for each other, how we love each other. We have a family, our values as a family are simple and memorable so that my 2-year-old can say them every day. Faith, family, fish. We love Jesus, we care about our family, and fish. Fun and active, fun and adventurous, integrity, service, and hard work. Simple. My 2-year-old can say it. If you have a bunch of stuff that no one remembers, why do you have it? You put it on your walls. It's got to mean something to have your last name, okay? Is everybody following along with what these families are doing? Yeah. I'm going to get way more granular here in a second about the money side. Okay. The last thing I'll say about this, it's critical. These families have incredible storytelling. So if you want to destroy a culture, get rid of the chief storyteller. So these families have stories of ancestors. They have stories of their family. They have stories of what they're doing right, what they did wrong, that they can pass on to their kids and their grandkids. It's about communication and education. That's how you prepare your kids for wealth. Okay? These kids and grandkids and great-grandkids of these legacy families, they are kind, they're generous, they're smart, they're driven, they're ready for wealth. Okay? What happens here, and this is number 3, money is not evil. The love of money is. But if you're thinking about money all day, every day, it's kind of your idol. What these families work on is they don't have a negative view of money in the family. They have a positive view. It's a tool, right? It's the store of value. So many families, especially the wealthier they get, and if you fall on both sides, poor, money is like a necessity. We have to beg, borrow, and steal to get by, okay? It's a terror for kids. If you're on the wealthier side, and I don't mean billionaires, I mean if you're a millionaire, okay? If you're on the million cusp, your net worth, the kids don't feel ready for it if you pass it on to them. They get guilt, fear, and shame when they get it. That's why it's shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 2 to 3 generations. They either have guilt because they're not ready for it, or shame that they're not, like, I'm not qualified to have this wealth. It's like a lottery ticket winner. See this? So what they do is they just blow it or they give it away. They don't like keep it going. All right? So that's the point here. God gives you the ability to produce wealth, Deuteronomy 8. You have to have a positive view of money. It's just not the goal. Okay? It's a tool. Number 4, allowance is socialism. Every single parent we talked to in this group did not do allowance. All right? The 3 S's. Socialism, salaried employees, and servitude. Here's what happens with allowance. Socialism, you give your kids money for free. No kid will ever spend your money the way they would spend their hard-earned money. It's literally just blowing it or hoarding it. That's what happens with kids all the time with allowance. Then some parents go, no, they do chores that I pay them allowance. Well, okay, that's a salaried employee. That's somebody who's just doing a list of random things and you pay them whether they do it or not most of the time. Half those chores should be done for free in our home. And the other half, you need to pay one off so they understand the value they're creating for each thing they do. Why am I getting paid the same for a dish as I am for an hour and a half of weeds? See the difference, guys? They also need to be doing way more things around the house. Parents can turn their kids, all these families turn their kids into assets instead of liabilities. And here's how they did it. Oh, last thing. You need an answer when your kids ask you for money. Because that's a lose-lose situation. Okay? Dad, I need 20 bucks. Okay, yes. Guess what? I'm a pushover and I'm slowly spoiling and entitling. If I say no, I'm the bad guy. Now I'm the enemy. Then I got to use money later on to bribe them, coerce them, or buy their love back. See how you got to remove that issue? And here's how all these families do it. You ready? The 5 money skills. Earn, save, spend, share, and invest. They systematically help their kids practice in the real world with real money these 5. And I underlined share. I'm going to talk about these in the next few, but I underlined share because that's the true unlock for kids to be financially competent. That is the number one, by far, all these families said, we want our kids to be generous at a young age. When you do that, they have an open hand. When you do that, they have an abundance mindset, bigger pie mindset. They have the mental excitement around helping and serving and giving to other people. The world is much bigger than my budget and what I can do and what I can get. You see the difference? I want that kid to go into the world ready to create value because there's way more than enough to go around. So they focus really heavy on share. Mission trips, giving, they talk about what they're giving to. Have you told your kids what you're giving to and why? When was the last time you asked them, what are some other cool nonprofits or charities or different things we can give to? Here's what we're doing. What do you guys want to do? Next birthday, give your kids $100 and ask them to give it away. Week before Christmas, give them money. Have them give it away by Christmas and share the story. This is what jumpstarts all these families, okay? I'm going to talk about the rest, but all these are in GravyStack. There's 10 games in each level on all those, as well as online security, borrowing, creating value, skills, and traits. Number 6, my favorite one, the home economy system. People do allowance because it's the easy button, right? I'm giving you your dollar age per week. If you're 8 years old, you get $8 a week. It's the easy button. And this is what all the other debit card companies do for kids. All of them. This is why I don't like any other debit card companies. They just give, no kids ever log in, and the parents just throw money on the debit card every week. That's what's happening. It's basically like the piggy bank digital. So now they're swiping 30% more than they were before because they don't feel the pinch. With GravyStack, they actually feel the pinch. So this is what the home economy system is. Write this down. Expectations, expenses, extra pay. Expectations. Here's what you're doing for free. I'm not paying you to make your bed, brush your teeth, get dressed, probably take the dog out, do best in school, and dishes and trash. I'm not paying you for that. That's your rent. Number 2, expenses. This is where a lot of parents go wrong. Starting at age 5 and 6, start giving them expenses to cover. Toys, trinkets, souvenirs, tech, social outings with friends, birthday presents for their friends. A cavity, they have to pay for that. I don't know, things like that. Pass off the 12 expenses. We have them in GravyStack in a list. Now that you do that, you have hundreds of dollars a month that you were paying for that you can now pay them in extra pay, gigs around the house. That's number 3, extra pay. We have 55 home gigs that you can do in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and around the house, out in the yard, in the garage, sweep, mow, pump up tires, wash windows, make a meal, help a sibling with homework, whatever it would be. You guys follow me here? It's the 3 E's. Every single one of these families did it, and they did it in spades. The more money they could pay their kids every month for doing the job, sometimes it was $5, $10, $20 each, right? Those kids now are responsible. They're taking ownership. They're having delayed gratification. They're learning wants and needs. They're learning trade-offs. I don't want the Air Jordans. I'm good with the Adidas. That's what you got to do at home. You have to match the software and the environment at home that's going to be in the real world. The real world will not pay them for brushing their teeth, okay? That's the setup for the home economy. I know I got to go quick. This is, by the way, the printout that you get in GravyStack. Once you create all your gigs of expected expense and extra pay, which is it auto-repeats, by the way. That's why this is so awesome. It's auto-repeating gigs, daily, weekly, monthly. You get a weekly printout, you throw it on the fridge, and now you have your whole payday gigs weekly system set. It's as easy as allowance, but no one's ever done it because it's always been hard. All right, 4 stages of earning. Kids need to basically start with home gigs, asset flips, community gigs, first product or service business. In that order. It's a concentric circle. They start at home with trust, then you sell something on eBay in the garage, or you go to a garage sale and you flip it. I just got word this morning a kid made $1,000, a 9-year-old, flipping motorcycles from eBay using GravyStack. Community gigs, go out to trusted family and friends and neighbors, and then you're doing your first product or service run, small one-offs, 10 of something, like Create or Complain, right? Number 8. Dinner money conversations. They bring their kids into all conversations. Monthly meetings on where you're investing, where mom and dad are giving, dinner conversations. This does not happen at school. It happens at the dinner table. You bring them in on conversations. So that's why GravyStack, we text the parents right before dinner. Here's a great question to ask your kids tonight based on how they're playing the game. But you could literally chat GPT it if you want. Be like, what are 100 great questions I can ask my kids about the 10 categories? Bring them in. More is caught than taught, and it's your job to not outsource parenting, okay? I know I'm almost done. We'll go fast. Outsourcing parenting is what a lot of people do. You outsource it to school. You outsource it to church. You outsource it to camps. You outsource it to sports. And then the kids grow up, and you realize why the relationship's broken, why they're not learning what you hoped they would. It's communication and education every day, in and out, okay? It's more about what you leave in them than to them. Number 9, paid. This is the hard one that I'm about to read off. I really hope I'm not pissing you guys off. I really want to come back someday. The goal, you should get your wife in the game doing the travel planning budget challenge. Every spouse is like, can I get my spouse on that? Pay to a point, then stop. Okay? These are mega wealth families, multimillionaire families, up to billionaire, but I'm talking like net worth of $1 million or more, $2 million. Pay to a point, then stop. Your mindset for legacy has to be grandkids. All of my decisions, even if I don't have them, is about grandkids and great-grandkids. Okay? So most of these families are doing a double. They'll go to the grandkids and say, our job is to help with grandkids' college, a chunk of it, right? Our job's to help with a private school if the grandkids are going to go. They want to think that legacy, like multi-generational, okay? That's how you bring them in. Bring everyone together, have these shared mission. My great-grandkids are going to know about faith, family, and fish. You better believe it. And 20 stories that they can pass on about our family, okay? Our last name is going to mean something. That's the point. But it gets more integral. Most of them paid for a private school as they're growing up and mission trips. They would do 50% of car. Not whole car, 50%. They'd match, starting at age 10, what the kids are saving. They would do 50% of college upon graduation. You can pay for the whole thing if they're graduating and getting the degree, but 56% of kids don't graduate college. They get the debt, they leave, no degree. See the difference here? What I did, my parents did, you get half of college. The rest, I had 4 jobs this summer, tons of scholarships, worked my butt off. And guess what? I had $16 left over. Okay? And I was fired up, ready to go. But I had work ethic. Okay? So, last one. Very interesting. And this comes from Hobby Lobby, Green Family, all the way down. Coors Family, all these families. They do a age 25, age 35, and age 45 I love you gift. That's it. Enough to make them know you love them. Not enough to make them coast. When next generations get enough money, they coast. Everyone follow me here? This is the hardest one to swallow. You die. This is what most of these families do. They put it in a charitable trust. They make sure that their kids and grandkids have enough to let them know you love them. Okay? Some families, that's 10 grand. Some families, that's 100 grand. You give them millions, they're coasting. This is a hard one to swallow. But what you do, when you put this in a charitable trust, you put 5 do's and 5 don'ts. Here's a trust that my kids and my grandkids are going to help steward and give away. But here's 5 things we care about. Our family cares about widows, orphans, financial literacy, anti-trafficking. We don't care about socialism, like all these things that we refuse to give money towards, right? Ministry causes, we refuse to give towards these types of social causes or identity, like things that we don't want. That's how you can steward a multi-generational trust. Does everybody follow this? Now everyone's bought in and the values are carrying forward, okay? And then number 10, and I'll be done. Give them roots and wings. Best thing I've ever heard for kids. This is from Bill High and David Green with Legacy Stone. Give them roots and wings. We don't want to raise our kids to just be independent and leave forever and start their own thing and barely maybe see them on holidays. You want interconnection with your kids. You want them to be capable, confident, and connected. So they need roots and they need wings. The roots is the culture. That's the values. That's the shared stories. That's the what it means to be a Donnell. Those people, those kids, when they rise up, then they have wings, but they're connected. More likely to live near, more likely to visit, more likely to have, absolutely want to have grandma and grandpa or great grandma and grandpa calling and FaceTiming all the time, come visit, whatever you can. That's the way to do it. You don't just want independence. What, you want them for 18 years and then they're gone forever? No, you want connection. That's the point. That's how legacy transfers. All right, I can be done. You can't take it with you, but you can send it on ahead. That's the point. So here's the last thing before I'll be done.
Leave that up.
Okay.
We want every single person supporting what he's up to.
Well, okay, so there's 3 ways if you want to support. Where we literally launched GravyStack. We've been in beta for like 6 months. We've been building for 28 months. $10 million, by the way. This thing's crazy. There's the app on the left if you have kids or grandkids, 6 to 18. If you want to be an affiliate, we have like about 350 affiliates, 375 affiliates launching in the next month, kind of structured. It's just like a $25 payout to thank you for helping us get it out to your audience. It's actually a pretty good payout because the conversion's really high. But we need affiliates. So anybody with an audience, like we did an amazing interview at lunch. That's a huge way to help, man. Like, thank you, and I hope it can serve your audience. But anybody that has clients, just today I got like 19 emails like from planners, insurance groups. They have a bunch of clients. They're like, anybody with a family, get in here. That's the best way to help us. And then I got a weird request because I don't know if we want to do this or not. We have some of our friends that are talking about doing like a 2-day, what I just went through with you guys. We go like really deep, like 2 days, like full on plan your family's legacy, plan out your like system for your kids, literally like verbally drafting how to do this all with the family. And it's just a 2-day thing with couples. It's like a grand or two, come in. We have a couple of like big studs, the family coach, like, and just do a 2-day deal. I don't know if people are interested in that or not. And I don't want to like try to create something unless people actually are interested.
I'd buy it. I'd buy it.
Raise your hand if you want something like that. I guess we got to do it. You want to do it with me?
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out. But I can bring in like Bill High and that whole group. We'll crush. Like you'll walk away being like, okay, 7 generations are set. So scan that, put the HubSpot in, and let me put your name in on the right-hand side. And then if we do it, we'll put you guys at the front of the list with about 20 other people that said they want to, but
When?
probably in the fall.
No, when you do it.
Oh, when I do it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm done. Any?
Guys, what a
Yeah.
amazing
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Can I turn this on?
Yeah. Switch on mode.